everybody, and welcome to another episode of Glenwood News. So today we're here with the girls basketball coach and tennis coach, Coach Julie Humphries. So Coach Humphries, we thank you for joining us today. And first, I'm going to start off by asking you, Coach, what will be, as y'all are going into the Elite Eight, what will be the biggest challenge with that coming up?
Well, to be honest with you, Craig, we've had the kind of season that hadn't really been the kind of season that has been known to Glenwood girls basketball. We've kind of been the underdog in every single game, and that's a place that we're not very familiar with. But at the same time, the girls they've done a really good job of preparing all week and trying to get ready for this. We are facing the number one team in the state with Tuscaloosa. I think they're coming in with a record of 22-3. So it will be a challenge, but I think my girls will be ready. We'll take that mindset and that mentality, the attitude that we're not expected to be there and we're not expected to win. So I think we'll be excited.
Okay. Now, what are y'all currently doing to prepare for this coming up?
Well, we know that right now that Tuscaloosa has two really good players. They got two good guards. So we're really focusing on the kind of defense that we need to play to try to, hold them to reasonable numbers. They're getting anywhere from 20 to 25 a night. So if we can just hold them to 10 or 15. And so mainly we've been focusing on the defense because we know defense will win the ball game for us.
Okay. Now, who are the, against Tuscaloosa, who are the two players that you think y'all are going to have to defend in order to win this?
Yeah, one of them is, I think her last name's Curry, and the other one is Chloe Johnson. Chloe Johnson is their true point guard. She shoots the ball extremely well from the outside, and she's very good off the dribble. Curry has a little bit more height on her. She can post us up, or she can play outside. So she poses a threat with her outside shooting, as well as maybe going inside in the post area.
Okay. Now, Coach, you've also, before you're at Glenwood, you're at Southland, isn't that right?
Right. I've been at Southland. I was at Southland for 8 years, and then I was at Houston County High School for 5. So this is in 13 years here, so 26 years total.
Okay. Now, and you graduated from Southland too, didn't you?
I did. I graduated from Southland in 1987.
Okay. All right.
Long time ago, Craig.
Now, what do you like most about Glenwood?
Well, I really think it's that family atmosphere. Everybody knows everybody. I've been treated just like I graduated from Glenwood from the time I got here. I think what speaks volumes about Glenwood is the coaching staff has pretty much been the same for the 13 years I've been here. We're under great leadership with Tim Fanning. He does a great job as our athletic director. He's easy to work for, he's easy to talk to, and he does a really good job of keeping all the coaches together and on the same page. So really it's just that family atmosphere and loving coming to work and loving the kids here and the people. They're just really good people.
Okay, now Coach, you are the JV and middle school coach too, aren't you?
That is correct. I'm having to do all 3 teams this year as well as last year. So that is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. It's a lot more time to try to coach 3 different teams, but at the same time, it's been very rewarding.
Okay, now you have Miss Henley as your assistant coach this year. If you would, talk a little bit about what she had to bring to the table as the assistant coach.
Well, I really can't say enough about Miss Henley. The job that she's done. She does not come from a basketball background. She was a softball player. So, but she's been there. She's learned. She wants to learn. She's very, very eager to be involved in practices. She'll do anything I ask her to do. She'll come up here and open up gym, things like that. But she's really, really been there for me. And really, it's been a challenge to her, and she stepped up to the plate and really done a good job with the girls.
Okay. Now, Coach, and I've realized the past few years, it's Lee Scott and Tuscaloosa. They've been, two of some of the hardest competitors. I'm going to ask you, who are some of the hardest coaches you've had to face in basketball?
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit, and everybody knows this name because a lot of people in this area love Auburn basketball. But one of the biggest coaches that I had to coach against early on at Glenwood was Chad Pruitt. Um, Chad Pruitt is just a great mind. We had some great battles early on. He turned the program over to Corey Ivett, and she's done a great job as well. So I think we've gone head to head. The coach that is at Lee Scott now for the boys, William Johnson, he was at Tuscaloosa all those years with the girls, and so I had matchups with him as well, and he's a very well respected coach in the area.
Okay, now, Coach, this is your first time in quite a few years. You've been a tennis coach before, but this is your first time getting back with the tennis team. If you would talk about talk about the tennis season coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's unfortunate I hadn't been out there yet, and we have a match today. So we're going to find out what it's all about today. But the kids have been going out there. They've been working hard. And I tell you what, I'm excited about it. I've been away from it for a little while now, like you said. And just going out there, when I went out there for tryouts and a couple times, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's fun sometimes to take time away and then get back involved in it. And I'm excited about it. We're going to be young. But it's okay. It's the same thing I'm coming from in basketball, so it'll be very rewarding at the end of the day.
Okay, now, Coach, it's been a few years. When was the last time that you coached tennis?
Oh, that's a good question. I was trying to think about that the other day, Craig, and I know my son Judson graduated in 2011, and I did it a couple years maybe after he left. So I've been away from tennis probably 5 or 6 years now.
Okay.
So.
Okay, now getting back on the basketball topic, who are some of the JV players that you see becoming leaders in the next few years?
Yeah, we've got a great young group. Our middle school team did a good job, as well as our JV team. We've got a couple right now that I moved up at the end of the season. Tillery Johnson, an 8th grader. I think if she continues to work hard, she plays AAU. She really loves it. She has an interest in basketball. I see her as being a dominant player for us in the future. Caitlin Blackshear, I moved her up as a freshman to varsity. You know, she'll get in the gym and work hard. I'm expecting big things from her. I've got a good group of 7th graders. I've got Anna Grace Griggs, Olivia Slocum, Macy Humphrey, Emma Head. I don't really want to leave anybody out, but it's a great group overall. They're really buying in, and they want to be that next group, you know, to be right there with us in the Elite Eight, Final Four, and the championships.
Okay, now who would you say has made the most strides this season?
Well, it's probably going to be Arianna Pender. Arianna Pender played in the 7th grade and hasn't played again until this year. And she's a freshman, and she went from coming off the bench to being a starter. And a lot of that was caused from or brought on because Katie, one of my starters, tore her ACL. And then my 6th man.
That was the second time, wasn't it?
Yeah, she tore her ACL as a freshman. Got herself back together, and now she's done the same thing to the other knee. So it's very unfortunate to lose her. And then we also had Cassie Kyle come in off the bench and become a starter. And then she went down with a severe ankle sprain, so she was in a boot. So that put a lot of pressure on Arianna Pender, and Arianna's really stepped up to the plate, and she's really brought a side to us that we needed, and she's really brought the defense. So I've been really, really, really impressed and proud of Arianna.
Okay, now if you would talk about some of your most memorable teams you've had in the past and why they are so memorable.
Well, you know, we've won 3 state championships, and you know, sometimes as a coach you think, well, it's all about the teams that win a state championship. And sometimes, you know, of course, those teams are going to be a little bit more vivid in your mind than some other teams. But, you know, I've got to talk about the team with Elizabeth Purdue. I think Elizabeth Purdue, being at Glenwood for her entire life, her competitiveness, she's probably one of the greatest shooters I've ever coached. just the mentality that she brought. She and Tamara McLean, Tamara York. Then you've got like LaDeja Jones, Quan Holton, Audrey Crow. I mean, the list goes on and on. Emily Robertson. Some of those girls that have come before and come through this program and won championships. I mean, they all have a special place in my heart. So it's hard to name just one particular team.
Right. Who was whenever you first got here, who was some of the people like on your first team that you ever coached here?
Well, my first years here, I was the assistant coach with Tim Macy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't start out as the head coach. Tim Macy was an unbelievable coach, somebody that I could come in and learn from. I had Alicia Nelson. We had Kiana Pickney. I came in the first 2 years. I didn't really know what a loss was. We went 31-0 and won a state championship. And the next year, I think we were 27-3, won a state championship. So I came in with high expectations. I had to follow that. So I coached with Mr. Macy 3 years before I actually took over as the head coach here. And the first couple years, well, my very first year as a head coach, we played for the state championship against Pike with Bree Nolan, Ashley Chambliss, some of those kids. So we ended up playing for the state championship against Pike and losing by 3 my first year as a head coach here.
Okay, and what year was that?
Golly, now you put me on the spot, Craig. 13 years, so what, 10 years ago? What would that be?
10 years ago.
It's 2013, something like that.
I guess something like that.
Somewhere
something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. So.
Okay, and the coach, we're about to wrap it up for today, but before we wrap it up, you're already owner of Zaxby's. I have to ask, what is your favorite thing to eat at Zaxby's?
Oh my, God, that's a tough one. I tend to go with the nibblers. I kind of like the nibbler meal. I'd say that was one of my favorites.
All right, well, so we're going to wrap it up for today, and so Coach Humphries, once again, we thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Craig.
And y'all be sure to go on YouTube every Friday and tune in. Just type in Glenwood News CTV Beam, and I thank y'all for watching. I'm Craig Coulter. We'll see you next time.